What's up, guys and ghouls? Welcome to Hellbent Holler Live. Let us know you can see us and hear us, and we'll get started with the show. I'm wearing white today. It's very odd.
What's that now?
I said I'm wearing white. I'm wearing like gray today. It's very odd.
You're reflecting orange from the lights. Julie Bug says 5 by 5.
Perfect. All right. Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Jesse. This is Joe, and we are Hellbent Holler. This is our Monday live show. We do it every Monday at 7:30 Eastern. This is a kind of a casual hangout where we talk about everything from Bigfoot to Dogman, ghosts, ghouls, goblins, Dewey Edwards, all those things that go bum in the night. So we are talking about that. We have a chat going. We'll take your questions from the chat and kind of just have a fun, interactive, a good old time. How's that sound?
Yep.
Sounds good. All right, cool. This week we released a video, and we're going to kind of get into that. We released a video that was kind of oh my goodness, here we go. Willie Kennedy says, Hellbent Holler Bigfoot Focus Group. Is it working?
Did we just completely go out?
I didn't touch it.
Okay.
We're working?
I think we're good.
We're good?
All right, we'll see.
We're good?
We've been having some gremlins follow us since this weekend.
Yes.
We had some really weird targeted equipment malfunctions and drains. We were investigating an area that we have alluded to in the past, Blackthorn Lake, that area. We were in a immensely long, brutal hike trying to get to the tip of one of these peninsulas and look at for an abandoned plantation home that was down there.
Yeah.
We stopped to set up for nighttime, headlamps, flashlights, turn the cameras under night vision and everything like that. All of my night vision stuff had drained somehow. Everything else was fine, but all my IR lights.
And we were way out there. We were pretty nervous about the hike back because it was a very, very arduous, grueling hike in.
Yeah, it was backbreaking. But it was weird because we packed extra IR lights, extra camera batteries, because we knew we were going to be out there for an extended period of time. And I'm just turning them on one by one going, this one's dead, this one's dead, this one's dead. It was just bizarre. But anyway, so if we have any gremlins tonight, it seems like something kind of might have latched onto us there.
And I could just see, we're talking about the Blackthorn area, and that series is going to start releasing in the next week or so.
Yeah.
We'll start diving into the Blackthorn Lake series. I know that our members already have a pretty good idea about what's going on there, but we have so many videos, some kind of scouting missions that we did, and then we start to peel back the layers of what's going on at Blackthorn Lake. And I'm really excited for you guys to check that out and see what's happening out there. I think we talked a little bit maybe last week about the incident with the shot ringing out.
Yes.
And the screaming from something out there. We'll get to that. That's on down in the line of things that are happening, but you guys are really going to enjoy some of these scouting trips out there. So you can kind of get a lay of the land and kind of learn how this place is set up with us. And you guys can kind of join us along the journey for that. But that should be coming out. The first of those should be coming out in the next week or so. I'm working on those now, but let's talk about what we released this week.
Yeah. I'll let you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
We released, we were lucky enough to get a very actionable, very recent Bigfoot sighting. Just a classic, like roadside crossing, going right across the road in front of a couple of guys. And we were able to move on it pretty quickly. We had to fight some weather to get there. It was as some pretty powerful storms were rolling throughout the south. But we were able to get out there, not as quickly as we wanted to, but much quicker than usual with a lot of these things. A lot of times when you get these reports, they're old. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when you look at a lot of like Bigfoot mapping type things, people are looking for patterns that stretch over decades, sometimes 5-6 years between sightings, if not longer. And this one was extremely recent. We were able to kind of get out there and scout the area
Yeah.
And we found the suggestions of some pretty good footprints out there.
Yeah.
That had been out there before the rain hit, and then a few that looked like they had occurred shortly after the rain had stopped.
And we were bookended by 2 pretty major storms for that. We had to get out there. We actually were driving through some bad weather on the way there, but we finally made it and kind of deployed ourselves out there pretty quickly.
But it was good. It was fun. It was actually, it was a lot of fun. It was just classic, what we got into all of this for in the first place. Classic, just Bigfoot investigation type stuff. Thank you for that, Okie. We appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you, Okie.
But it was a great to kind of get out there and to get out there, especially with it being so recent. Because a lot of times, you know, you go out there to like follow up on witness reports and some time's elapsed, you know, and you're out there going, well, something might have been here then. I don't really pay a lot of attention to even a lot of like Bigfoot mapping type things, because I think that the amount of activity that actually gets witnessed is such a small percentage of the actual activity going on out there. And then the activity that gets actually witnessed and then reported is such an even smaller, just fraction of what's going on out there. But this was cool. This was cool to kind of get out there and know, okay, we're in the patch of woods where these guys saw this thing heading, you know, just a few short hours before. It was neat. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And we even had kind of this discussion between us, like we got this report. And I think it's because, you know, you and I have been really hitting on the past couple of years. Our channel has been growing. People are, you know, you guys are spreading the word about Hellbent Holler, and that's really what it takes, is word of mouth, and you guys spreading the word about the channel. And of course, I'm going to take this time to plug, if it's up to you to share this, you know, if you like what you're seeing, hit that like button. If you enjoy this content, consider becoming a member. If you like all of the things that we're doing, share it to people you think would enjoy it, because that's how we got this report. So these guys got in touch with us, and we had this discussion. You know, we've been kind of doing a lot of stuff in South Carolina. We've been doing a lot of stuff in Georgia, and that's kind of raised the profile for us in Georgia and South Carolina. And
I want to interject something real quick too. The guys that got in touch with us, how awesome. They weren't sketchy, you know what I'm saying? They were very upfront. It was just great, because we're a little gun shy on witnesses now.
Especially after the Laurel Creek.
Yeah, incident. We're pretty gun shy. And man, if everybody, I mean, it was cool. We had to go to secrecy. They don't want a bunch of people out into that area.
Yeah. So
that was part of it. We're not even saying what state it was in. Not saying what state it was in. We're not giving any hints. We're not doing anything whatsoever. But it was just cool talking to some people that you weren't going, I think something happened, but I also I'm getting a very weird vibe off of these people. Not that case, just a couple of good old country boys. This was like great. If everybody was like that, this would be so much easier to do. Thank you, Curtis Whitaker.
Thank you, Curtis.
Every week leading us out the gate. Thank you so much.
But we had this discussion, you know, because a lot of planning goes into our trips. A lot of the time and especially when we're on an area that is so hot and so active, like the Blackthorn Lake area, you know, we like to spend a lot of our time really digging into those spots. But we got this report, and Joe and I kind of had this wild hair, and we're like, let's do it. Let's just go. Luckily, we were ready to roll. When we get back from one expedition, we don't, if we come back at about like 3-4 in the morning, sometimes we'll come back that late. We'll start charging equipment. We'll start charging batteries.
Yeah, do data dump, get everything started to charge and ready to go.
Get everything ready to go.
Everything repacked, everything's cleaned, everything's good. And I mean, if we get in the following morning sometimes, or if we're out there for a couple of days and we get back, it's like, all right, before we do anything, I've got to get this equipment up. Jesse's in there clearing SD cards, getting all of the footage, like, you know, filed. I'm like getting everything done. And that really paid dividends this time, because we were literally just able to grab stuff and go.
Yeah.
We had it, everything. We keep everything packed. We keep everything staged. I'm staring at a pile of chargers and battery chargers on the floor right now that we come in and we literally just strip batteries out of everything, start plugging stuff in, charge it, and just have it ready to go at that point. And I can't say how helpful that is, even though it's such a monumental pain sometimes to do, but to do that and to actually just be ready just to grab and go at that point. And, you know, that is especially when you have other things that you have to worry about, like the weather that we had to contend with.
Yeah, because we only had that window of time, that opportunity.
Weather report was saying we were going to get light showers, and we ended up getting
Mhm.
just freaking pounded, and we were going through pounding weather from here to there. And the weather ended up being 10 times worse than what any of the weather reports really initially said. So we didn't really have a lot of time to mess around. So, but luckily we were just able to grab it. Everything ready? Yes, it is. Grab it and go at that point. So,
Katie said that she was at an Airbnb outside of Bryson City and during that storm, and that she had to call the homeowner because the roof started caving in from
Good
the
Lord,
amount
yeah,
of rain.
storm was wacky, man.
It
Thank you,
was
Kathy Smith. We
crazy.
appreciate that. And it was completely, at least for us, it wasn't anywhere, no supposed to be anywhere near that bad. It was bizarre how it just kind of did that. And, this report is these guys were on a road going through a real thick, big patch of forest through there. And they came around the corner, and literally, it couldn't get any more classic. A Bigfoot standing in the road. They look at it, it looks at them, and then it just darts off into the woods. And they're both just like, holy crap, did we see that? And we're like, did you get out of the car and go after it? And they're like, hell no, we didn't. We kept going, man. We didn't get out of the car. Do you wish you had now? In retrospect, absolutely not. So and Jesse had the idea is maybe this thing was on the move.
Yeah.
Nobody was expecting the weather to be that bad, but a lot of times animals especially wildlife will know when a bad weather system or when an earthquake or anything like that's rolling into an area. And, I don't think Bigfoot's wildlife, but I would not be surprised if it was much, much more in tune with not even its environment, but with just the same thing that animals are in tune with. These weird fluctuations in I don't know, the magnetic field, whatever it is it's picking up on. But Jesse was like,
internal barometers.
Yeah. Jesse's like, I'm wondering if it was on the move because it knew the storm was coming in and how bad the storm was going to be. So that's a very interesting thing because we were trying to get out there, and then we were just like, holy crap, the storm's like much, much, much worse. And Jesse's like, I wonder if that's why it was on the move.
Mm-hmm.
If it was trying to maybe, I don't know, seek higher ground to go to an area that was better protected. I don't know. But it's a possibility.
And that's why it was, it was imperative that we got out there before that next round of storms came through, because and like I said in the video, whatever was going to happen, whatever we were going to find after that first storm, which was just, we didn't get a lot of rain prior to that major storm. That's probably what flooded so bad. The ground was pretty dry, but we knew that there would be a lot of mud out there, and that's a perfect canvas for whatever's out there to possibly leave prints behind. And that's what appears that happened. But anything that we found out there was going to be completely gone.
Real quick, just jump it. Marcus Aurelius is in the chat tonight.
Oh,
Grace, Marcus, buddy.
I didn't know the Vanderbilts were in town.
The great Marcus. For those of you who are new to the channel, Marcus is a OG hellbender who hasn't been able to make the last several lives, but he used to be a constant fixture. We still talk to him in real life quite a bit. Have you ever considered investigating Haunted Dudleytown?
I don't know what that is, but
I don't know what that is either.
I like the sound of it. Sounds
Haunted
good.
Dudleytown. I don't know what that is. So, and Stephen Bolton said, if the channel keeps growing in a couple of years, you can get airdropped hours after sightings anywhere in the country.
The Hellbent Hollowcopter.
Well, the original crew that were being backed by Robert Bigelow that were looking into Skinwalker Ranch, they had a rapid response team that would go out and look into not only UFO reports, but like high strangeness, anything like that. And they would be able to get on the ground hours. Now we can do that in this region, but
we ain't got that Bigelow aerospace money there. But that was kind of the concept behind what we were up to recently. And I'm hoping that we can get some more reports like that maybe we can just go and do a rapid response on, because the quicker you get out there and the quicker you get on the ground and looking for fresh evidence, the better. Like you said earlier, you have a lot of people that are investigating. You've got people still going back to the site of the Patterson-Gimlin film, and looking for evidence of something. I mean, there could be something still out there, but you get these reports that are sometimes years old, and you go out there to investigate them. People go out there to investigate them. This is something that was less than 18 hours old, and we were out there ready to go. And I think I'm really inspired by the Bigelow team and what they did with cattle mutilations, sightings, anything like that, that they could just be in the air immediately.
I would feel us pretty comfortable responding to pretty much anything except for like maybe demonic possession. I ain't doing that. I got my holy water though.
You do have your holy water.
My holy water and my flags. We'll be good to go. I will flag it out.
We could take a detour to North Carolina and get a cryptid response and load him up.
We could. That's our boy. So Bonnie Blue McGee, so glad to be part of this community. Thank you for being a member, Bonnie.
Thank you, Bonnie Blue.
Appreciate it. And then our boy Marcus says, SD card check. How y'all been? We've been good. And it's like I said, this has been eye-opening as to the importance of like growing our reach. Because a lot of times we don't necessarily worry about, we don't do a lot of the like, share, subscribe, try to do this. We just figure it'll grow or it won't grow. It'll do whatever it wants to do. But this was a direct result of us becoming, like, I guess, a little bit more well-known, especially in this area. And we were able to get that information and then get there quickly. And they trusted us with the encounter. When we promised not to share where it was, they believed us and they shared it with us. So it was cool to kind of like have that reputation because that was extremely, extremely helpful. So, but let's see what else we got here today.
This is funny here. Shade Viking says holler water. We could have our own holy water line.
I don't even know where my holy water is now that I'm thinking about it.
Could be holier than thou.
Hopefully I don't need my holy water tonight.
I have your holy water. We have the black salt. We have the holy water. We have all of that stuff kind of
rolling around like
I have that stashed.
I'm rolling around like Dean Winchester here, man. I got my flannel shirt on. I got my holy water and salt. Bonnie Blue McGee, all cancer tests came back negative.
Congratulations, Bonnie.
Congratulations, Bonnie. Bonnie is our folklorist.
Our resident folklorist.
Our resident folklorist. So glad to hear that.
Another health update. Hey, Jesse and Joe. Amber says hi and thanks for keeping her in your thoughts. She's doing great. So it's great to hear about Amber feeling better and on the mend.
A couple quick things here. Mr. Booberry, is Joe finally going to get his wish with straight Bigfoot without any other high strangeness added in? We were thinking that was going to be the case with Blackthorn Lake. And no, it's not really called Blackthorn Lake. That's our code name for it.
Yeah.
Because it's filled with giant trees with what are
kind of a spooky
locust trees and then just brambles everywhere and old barbed wire. So it's easy to get ripped up in. I was thinking that was going to be the case there, but this weekend with that battery stuff kind of, I don't know. That was just, if it was everything, I would have gone, well, no, that would have made sense either. And I don't know. And Henry had asked, does a Faraday bag stop the battery drain? No, it doesn't. It doesn't, no matter what anybody tells you, because I had all of my backup batteries and IR lights in a Faraday bag, and it didn't do anything. They drained just like the ones out of it. So I don't know what the answer is for it. And I don't know why it was so selective in what it drained. It was just it was everything I needed for nighttime stuff was draining. And it was just, I don't know. It was just very weird.
Including, our headlamps, everything we needed to get out of there.
Yeah, it's just bizarre that we've had like certain things drain and then other things won't sometimes.
I think the last time we had an incident like that was that bad was when we were in the LBO and we were near Station 16 and we were trying to get out of there and everything basically went down. We had to get out of there with that keychain light basically that night and my camera, the screen on my camera. That's the only way we saw to get out that night.
I don't watch a lot of like Bigfoot investigating stuff on YouTube because we've got our own very distinct way of like how we like to do stuff. But I do watch occasionally some like ghost stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like some paranormal investigation stuff.
Yeah.
And one team was out somewhere in like a haunted house. They're doing stuff inside. And a lot of stuff started to kind of just like drain on them. And somebody was like dismissively said in the chat, well, the camera's not draining. This is fake. And I'm going, or it's real. And whatever's doing the draining wants the camera to keep going so it can show what it can do. it's messing with the equipment.
Kind of showing off.
Yeah, it's letting them. And I had that feeling this week, and because I've been thinking, because as we've been in Blackthorn, and you've got this on camera, put it in some of the videos you release out. But you'll ask how the batteries are going, and I'm going, camera batteries are going great. You don't need to change one? No, they're doing phenomenal.
You're having a great time.
Great time. And I'm going, I've never had batteries last longer.
Well, here's the thing too.
And then that night, all of a sudden, it's just and I'll show it real quick. Hold on.
And think about this though, is the Blackthorn Lake area is huge, and you've got a lot of different factors there. We are finding what appears to be evidence of Bigfoot activity out there. We're hearing things that kind of lean in that direction. But also, you've got a whole other factor there that this place was inhabited by people for hundreds and hundreds of years at this point. You've got these plantation locations that could possibly be haunted. We were at the site of the oldest plantation.
I carried like literally tons of these with us, and I pulled them out. Not to interrupt you, but I pulled them out and
do an ad for Temu right now.
All of them that's fully charged, they would either not turn on or they would be down to 1. And I had just charged everything, and we had literally. So I don't know, but I mean, we literally keep multiple extras in, and all of them were like dead or almost dead. I had a battery backup in my chest rig that I was running my external camera, my chest camera off of, and I took a longer cable and plugged one of these in order to be able to run the camera. So I was basically powering it as I went and trying not to move the camera too much. And then I'm going, well, why the hell didn't that drain then? That my backup cam external battery didn't drain. It's all my night specific stuff like drained, like something was, I don't know. It's weird. It could just be happenstance, but it was selected and if it was what I think it is, it was selected and targeted.
Yeah.
And that's weird. That's not Bigfoot. So
what do you think that is?
I have no clue, but I don't think that's Bigfoot.
But like I said, we might be dealing with multiple things here because this is such a big place. There's a possibility. And I know we talk about all the time that these things are also interconnected. And it seems like where there's one, you may find another. But we might be dealing with multiple things here.
Well, I know that I was excited just to have my Bigfoot spot.
But we are investigating places that
have mass graves and cemeteries.
And were the site of a lot of human suffering. And they were the site of, all these things that we kind of put on our helmet holler bingo card of things that lead to hauntings, things that lead to, dare I say, even the appearance of Dogman.
Yeah. Well, Jessie had that this weekend when she stops and she goes, just when I say stopped, I'm talking hard stop on a trail, spins around with like a crazy look in her eye. And she
Which is pretty normal, I guess.
That's pretty much every day of my life. And she just goes, you realize this area is like perfect for Dogman. I wonder if there's like any Dogman activity out here. And like 30 seconds later, we find like really big, oversized canine prints.
I know.
Now, not as big as what we found in the Grove, but pretty damn bigger than coyotes. It was just kind of weirdly timed. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on in there. I'm just going to be straight up honest with you, though. I'm hoping that the battery drain was just something weird, but mundane and common and weird. And I'm hoping that this is I'm hoping I get to bust the flags out.
You can still do flags.
We can do the flags.
You know what? You can use the flags to mark all the unmarked graves that we're going to find.
Good Lord.
That's so grim.
Ray Richardson. I'm literally hearing something screaming from the forest across our horse farm. Very weird. One time it's a scream, 10 minutes later a howl, vibrating my skull almost. Is that going on right now?
Wow.
Somebody fire up the helicopter. This is where the helicopter would come.
That is where the helicopter would come in.
Shade Viking, thank you for that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Timmy Hardcastle, last few cases you've had with the footprints you have found, I was figuring you would both end up having a Class A sighting. What I worry about with Class A sightings and us is that we are generally pretty prepared if something happens in order to document it. That's the whole goal.
Yeah.
And it just seems like you hear this with time and time again with people. Did you get a photo of it? No, my phone was dead, or I couldn't get my phone out in time, or it just how it seems like it chooses that exact moment to show itself to you, and you can't get it. And we're super prepared to try to document it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we drive ourselves crazy trying to be able to document it. And it just worries me sometimes. Every time something happens where I'm like, I got to change a battery real quick, or I've got to do this. I'm like, this is what's going to happen at. And we run a chest cam in addition to the main cam. We try to do all of this stuff. But even then, like, we didn't get that thing, that black shape that you saw in Laurel Creek. And we almost didn't even include that in the video because we didn't have any proof of it. But then we referenced it throughout the day. And then we caught that weird thing on thermal that we think is related to what Jesse saw.
Yeah.
But I'd honestly think that at this point, if we had a Class A sighting and we didn't get it on camera, we'd probably, I don't know if you guys would ever know about it. I don't think I'd ever mention it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't think I'd ever mention it publicly, just because it would seem like it would seem like we were doing I don't feel bad with some of the weirder stuff that we're unable to capture, because we capture our fair share of weird stuff on camera and audio.
We got that freaking shadow
But
figure.
if we were like walking around a corner on a trail in the broad daylight and I'm fumbling with the camera trying to do something, and there's a Bigfoot just staring at us from 10 feet away, and then it zips away and we didn't get it on camera, I don't think I'd ever mention it. You know what I'm saying? Hell, I might quit doing this at that point and just go, you know what?
I still don't know how I would react to having that dead on Class A sighting. If I ever have that opportunity and that actually happens to me, I still don't know how I would react to it. You try to prepare yourself for something like that as much as you possibly can. We go out there seeking it out.
Mm-hmm.
We face a lot of danger. We face a lot of crazy stuff with what we do, but I still am not 100% on my reaction. And the fallout that maybe will be the result of having a sighting like that.
When I saw whatever I think I saw when I was like a kid, I was just terrified. I was motionless. I just like laid there and looked at it, and it looked at me, and then it just creeped off. And then I just laid there awake for the rest of the night, afraid to move. Hopefully I would behave a little differently nowadays. But Bonnie Blue asks, is Blackthorn the plantation site? Blackthorn is the area you guys have not seen the video on yet. You will be seeing it soon, but you'll
have some it's a whole series coming out on Blackthorn Lake. There's old plantations there. It's when I got that huge report from.
There's a mass grave somewhere.
There's multiple plantation sites, mass graves.
There's supposedly forgotten cemeteries. We found 2 so far that the forest has just taken back over.
Evidence of Native American cultural sites.
I can't say that I got attacked by a shadow person. You're talking about the Halloween thing where we saw that black static figure.
Yeah.
And then I got the nosebleed, but 2 different spots,
totally
states,
different areas,
everything like that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
those are totally different areas. We've got a lot of different places we're going to. We're trying to keep it very.
Somebody was giving me low key grief, going, "Oh, you should just stay in one spot and do this. Just stay there." And I'm just going, I don't want to. I want to experience the full breadth of like high strangeness that this region has to offer.
Never let them know your next move.
And you know what? Sometimes maybe I'm going to stand by it. That is the right decision for us. You know what I'm saying?
I think so.
Is that I think that so much of the activity, at least in this area, the high strangeness in this region, there's a chaos element to all of it. And it seems like it thrives when storms come through and like when disasters happen. And it just seems like it's chaotic. And I think that you have to embrace that chaos to a certain extent.
I feel like you do that every day with me.
Every damn day of my life. Every day of my life. Embrace it and put a ring on it. Anyway, but you have to kind of sometimes just.
A lot of stuff makes sense all of a sudden.
You have to go with a certain random approach sometimes to it. And we'll do that sometimes. Sometimes we'll be like, listen, I know we were planning on doing this, but something's telling me we need to go different spot, different state. Let's do this instead. And we just go with it,
And I think at this point we've stopped fighting that follow your gut thing. You have got to follow your gut and follow.
My gut tells me to jump off a cliff. I'm jumping off a cliff.
Just do it, baby.
I'm doing it.
Just make
you
sure
got it, gut. Whatever you say, gut. You got it, gut.
What if you got a tapeworm that's like driving the boat in the wrong direction?
You know what? You always trust your tapeworm. So, Walter, thank you for that so much.
I know my tapeworm.
Marcus is back with a passion. The thermal dogman head capture and the juvenile Bigfoot capture playing Tarzan in the tree still blows me away. It's Jumper Gate.
You know what's funny is on this computer, I was getting some stuff set up today. Look at this. Let me show you this. Look.
What do you got? Oh, you got a jumper file.
I got a jumper file.
You got the video in there?
I don't know what's on here. These look like photos. Oh, it's photos of it. You know what? I want to show you guys these photos because it's
Can
just.
you do it and stop? Can you go?
I mean, they're
like, photo to
photos.
photo?
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. Here, let me put this
Thank
up.
you for that, Marcus.
This is just a file that was on this computer. I need to bring up the jumper gate stuff and we can go through it frame by frame. But these are stills from the video. And look at these things. All right, let me show you guys this. And I don't know why. I was like, oh my God, I've got to put this. I got to show everybody this. Let's go ahead and bring it back. Let's bring it back. Bring it back. All right. It's so flippin' weird.
Jesse is talking about the thing that
give some context.
It
baby.
appears to be when I can see why people get confused because lived it. I'm confused myself half the damn time.
Okay.
When we had gone up to investigate where we saw that burning light thing the burning light, that weird light that opened up, the little figures around it in North Georgia. We originally went over to that hill because we saw something jumping from tree to tree and we thought it was like a small animal. We went over with the thermal. We didn't really think anything weird was going on. It's just cool to look at animals at night on the thermal. And then that also gives you context when you are seeing just a normal animal on thermal. You have a context on what that looks like. And then we saw that weird light. We went back the next day to take some readings of the area.
Yeah.
Check like radiation, take some of our instrumentation out. And as we were leaving, I just kind of whipped the camera back around and we caught what looks like something going.
And we didn't even realize this was in the video. I put the video out of us going back and doing the follow-up and people are like giving us these timestamps and I'm like, there is something jumping in the tree at this timestamp. And we go back and I'm like, oh my God.
Because Jesse, when she was editing it, was focused on like us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like looking at us, making sure that, everything's good, everything's in frame, you want to try to give like a real good, accurate representation. She wasn't paying any attention to the trees. I mean, especially in the daytime, because we don't usually, we'll see weird light phenomena that we didn't pick up on when we were on the ground, and then we'll see it when we review the footage. But you rarely see something like daylight in the trees like this that you didn't notice. And I didn't hear anything either, which is even weirder. So.
All right, I'm going to show you guys this. So these are just stills from it. I don't know why I looked on this computer and I was like, oh my gosh, they're here. Because we bring this up. We've actually brought this up a lot lately just because I'm thinking about the jumper. All right, you can see my cursor, right?
Yes, I can see your cursor.
Huzzah. So it's right here. All right, now I'm going to go to the next still. Look at that thing. You can see the tree move.
Whatever it is, looks like it comes off a tree.
But look, these are just frames, one frame at a time here, but you can see the tree move between these, right?
I don't know. People say it's a leaf, people say it's a turkey,
but I see the entire tree move. Like you can see it move here, you can see it move here. I just think that's
not a turkey.
I know.
You hear a damn turkey.
That ain't no turkey, bro.
Turkey's not gonna be that high in the air. It's damn.
That ain't no turkey, man. That ain't no turkey.
I don't know, man.
Jive turkey.
All
there we go. All right. I just think it's crazy. Look at this. Look at this one. Look at it. It's a solid thing. That is no freaking leaf. Right?
I don't know.
I don't know either. It looks like something. Look, it looks like it got legs.
Nut slap
like
on here because he thinks it's a leaf.
Nut slap is Team Leaf. Yeah.
So he's the head of Team Leaf. And then there is.
But anyway, I just saw that on there and I was like, I've got to show them this because it's crazy.
Yeah, it's not a turkey. I know what it's not. It's not a turkey. It's not a child playing in the trees, although that would be even scarier. If there's just random children 40 feet up in the trees swinging from. So I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is, but it's not a turkey. And but what's even weirder is Jesse's right. It does seem like it lands on I always get my arms mixed up here. Hold on. Which hand is which? Here we go. It looks like it jumps onto a sapling and then the sapling kind of bends and it rides
It rides it down. I wish I had the video on
How
here.
the hell did I not hear that though? Is the thing. It's just that it's so. But then again, here's the other thing too, is that we had been up there, like we'd been out all night long with this stuff. We didn't get a lot of sleep after seeing that light. We went out the next day with some different equipment. So we were tired. We were out there all day long. We're hungry. We're breathing heavy because it's very mountainous through there. It's very lots of like elevation changes. But still, you would have think I would have heard something like that because that's got some size to it, man. I just don't know. I knew it. I knew it. Draw him out. Cool leaves, bro.
So Erebus says that is a murder slug mimicking a juvenile Sasquatch.
Murder slug.
I forgot about the murder slug.
New T-shirt. I know my tapeworm, but so I don't know, man. But I mean, it's the jokes are coming full circle.
Is that a darkie in the tree?
Full circle.
We need to use the levitation technology that creature is using for the Hellbent helicopter.
Yeah, the Hellbent helicopter. But so I don't know, man. But I mean, I am hoping against all. I've got my fingers crossed that the new area, Blackthorn, is going to be a Bigfoot area. Now, the area that you just saw in the video that released Sunday is not Blackthorn, or maybe it is. Maybe it's not. I can't give any hint as to where it may or may not be. It may not even be in the continental United States.
It could be behind you right now.
Yes, I could be in your backyard doing this. I cannot say. But it is, a lot of that area out there is private property. There's big swaths of private property. There's some public land as well. But
I've been using that. I've been using my I've been looking up property owners for this stuff, and it's been very handy.
We had permission to go out there and look at this. We were there above board. Landowner knew we were there. We have not broached multiple return visits yet. So we'll see how often we can get out there to that area. So we're not trespassers. And so if we can get permission to come out there from the gentleman or gentlewoman who owns the property, we will go back out there. But if nothing else, Blackthorn is going to be crazy anyway.
I got some stuff marked on there.
All right, let me see what else we got here.
I think we've debunked the turkey theory.
That's not a turkey, I don't think.
Marcus Aurelius says turkeys can't even fly, much less get in a tree that high. Crazy. Turkey gate.
My favorite thing. If you face the camera behind you while you're walking, you'd probably catch stuff. Not very rarely would that happen in the areas we're at. We hear a couple of variations of that every week that we need to put rear-facing cameras on, and we have experimented with it. It works well on certain types of terrain, and it works well on certain areas, but most of the areas we go to, it just doesn't work. And then it's another 16 or 24 hours of footage that I have to like just sit there and go, this is all useless. It's we're kinetic, we walk a lot, I'm bent over a lot of times trying to like shimmy through stuff. It's just, it works well on relatively open, relatively level like paths and trails and stuff like that. That works well. So, and my other thing too is that people are always like, well, you know, they know what cameras are, and that's why you can't get them on camera, but put a rear-facing camera on. And I'm going, so they don't know what that camera is? Like, what the hell, man? You know, they only recognize a camera if it's held in front of your body. So what we'll do is I'll occasionally, if the terrain permits it, just kick the camera back a little bit, kind of unexpectedly.
You've been doing that a lot lately.
Well, because we've been in an area that I have more. Once I've changed, he's now on the team murder slug.
I know. See, he changes his loyalties so quickly.
Nah, he's fickle. He's fickle.
Which way do the nuts slap today?
Moondog thinks it's mountain goblins.
Yeah, I like all these theories. These are great theories. We need to I'm revisiting Jumper Gate just because that was such an enraging topic for so many people.
There are people who literally, because
that's a hill that so many people want to die on.
Just because I would go, I don't know what it is, man. It's this. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
You. Well,
I don't want to say I wouldn't say it was a Bigfoot. I wouldn't say that it was a turkey or something mundane. I'm just literally going, I don't know what the hell it is. It doesn't really make any sense. I first thought it was one thing. And then people who follow the channel, who I even think are in the chat tonight, sent me slowed down versions where they had like blown it up. And I'm just looking at it going, well, now I don't know what the hell it is. I don't know what it is.
Didn't I? I mean, I think I did all kinds of stuff to it. I inverted the footage. I did all kinds of stuff. But
Oh, you were like
I've got to do some
CSI in it there, for God's sakes, man. So
enhance.
enhance.
I got to do. I want to do another. I want to revisit it. I know I keep saying that, but I want to revisit it. But now we have the ability to put out like public polls, and we can let democracy decide. The democracy of the health industry.
Populi, there we go. So, voice of the people.
The people will put the nail in the coffin.
All right, let's see what else.
Somebody suggested it was a porcupine at some point in the chat. Here.
I've seen. I don't know.
I don't agree with the porcupine theory. I'm anti-porcupine on this.
If it's not an optical illusion, it goes and it's graceful. And I don't know. I just don't know. So
porcupine is the most graceful among us.
Most graceful of all animals. So
you've ever seen a porcupine like running? It's a
see, this is the same thing. Turkeys ain't nimble or stealthy. Yeah, even a turkey. Turkeys just aren't quiet. You know, they're magnificent animals, but they're not quiet there.
Filthy Casual says you guys found the real blob squatch.
Well, it's if you look at it, those are just stills from it.
Yeah,
stills from the actual video clip. So, but at the same token, we're shooting it on a GoPro Hero 8, like so, a not latest gen GoPro,
and it's dusk.
It's dusk, and those are not the best low light cameras.
No,
and it was on the move. We were on the move, and then I moved the camera back. So. I don't know. But again, I always go back to this. The thing that always gets me whenever I'm ready to just debunk it and walk away and just go, wow, it's nothing. We went over to that hilltop where we saw that light because Jesse saw something jump from tree to tree, it looked like. And then we couldn't find it on thermal. If it had been a raccoon or a porcupine or anything like that under the sun, we would have seen it because it was cool. It was a cool night. And the thermal, we would have picked it up. It would have stood out like a freaking, like just a beacon in the night to us, and we could never find it. But it's just weird that we went over there because you saw something small jump from tree to tree and then disappear.
Yeah.
And then as we're leaving the next day, we appear to catch something on camera that's leaping from tree to tree that we didn't hear that time. So I don't know.
We're just gonna have a debate about the jumper every week. All right, guys, it's time for the jumper debate. I got a couple up there, and then we'll move on from the jumper debate. I know it gets hot and heated.
There are, and what's crazy is he says there are sightings of tiny people in the Fae, etc.
So what's interesting about that is that particular area.
We found very small footprints up there, like a lot.
We found evidence of possible Cherokee Little People activity. That's not far as a crow flies from where we found that tiny arch.
Yeah.
And, and I that was kind of a monumental investigation we did there because we found that tiny arch that was woven out of holly.
We have found more circumstantial evidence of Cherokee Little People than we ever have of Bigfoot, to be honest with you. When you just get right down to it. And then if you talk to members of the Cherokee tribe that are in this area, I mean, and again, like I know every single member of the Cherokee tribe in this area, personal experience, anecdotally, about 50-50. You know what I'm saying? Some believe in Bigfoot, some don't. Little people, that's a much higher percentage. You know what I'm saying? A much higher percentage. And I always go.
JD could probably attest to this as well.
JD Smooth is on the chat tonight. So, and our boy Not Today is saying, just playing devil's advocate here, red-tailed hawks can have over a 4-foot wingspan, reddish color. It might be. I don't know. Like I said, but the only thing that comes back to is that hawks don't generally, that would have to hit that branch and then just ride it down, not bump into it. It looks like it grabs it. And then as that branch bends, it's going along for a ride. So I don't know. I just don't know.
Branch riders.
So let's talk about the one you just released out. The
rapid response.
The rapid response.
Yes.
So, and I really enjoyed this investigation, to be honest with you. I enjoyed it because, again, it was what we didn't really get into this to do like weird stuff, man. We got into this to like hunt Bigfoot. So I got these flags that remain unused. We wanted to look for Bigfoot, but we started to encounter other weird stuff, and we had to go
If I have to hear about these flags
do we just,
anymore.
yeah, just pack the flags away, guys. We're gonna have to do something else now. But we had to follow where the weirdness took us. So, but at the end of the day, Bigfoot was like why I got into this stuff.
Yeah.
Jesse was more paranormally like,
Inclined.
inclined, but so this was just really cool to be able to get out and follow tracks. And we also did get a few of what was the one person went, you found 2 left tracks. Does it not have a right foot? And you have to always explain that
Pogo the Bigfoot.
these things don't walk unless you're in the Sahara or on the beach, and it's the exact same type of soil and consistency of the ground, and all of it's the same hardness level and everything like that. Some spots on the ground are harder, some spots are softer, some spots are wetter, some spots are drier. Some spots take really good tracks, other spots not so much. So it was cool to get out there and to try to track something again, where you would find a partial print headed in that direction. So now let's go and see if we can, all right, here's another one 20 feet away. It stepped in a small area. I mean, like a wet area. And then we were able to catch like a small partial print. So it was cool to get out there and do that. Very, very cool.
I think after all of the stuff with Laurel Creek, and it's been kind of, and I think we experienced this when we were doing North Georgia pretty hard and heavy too, is like you get kind of this exhaustion with the darkness, like it seems like a lot of that stuff was going in such a dark direction and a frightening direction that it became overwhelming, especially with the human element involved in both locations. It became a little too much. Like you are experiencing Bigfoot activity, or what we assume would be Bigfoot activity.
I didn't get into this stuff to deal with like weird
cults,
people in the woods who are like up to like occult activity.
I would have just stayed with my family if that was
that's what we were looking for. We'd go to a freaking Jesse family reunion.
I'd go to a family reunion. I wouldn't be going out and doing this.
So, I mean, we didn't get involved for anything like that. I mean, that's a whole different element of stuff you have to like deal with.
Yeah.
And it's not fun, to be honest with you. It's really not fun. But I mean, unfortunately, you'll have an area where there's legit high strangeness, whatever you want to call it, cryptid, paranormal, whatever going on in this area. And then there's also people there up to, let's just call it occult practices, because that's what it is. And that's a whole nother level of like complexity, difficulty, danger, everything like that. So the Bigfoot stuff it's weird. It is in a way simpler and more straightforward, and it's more enjoyable. The other thing though, it's more freaking frustrating for me, at least, because I'm just matter of fact, we're going to probably do a Monday night live stream coming up over the next couple of weeks, basically dealing with the subject of why we or anyone else hasn't been able to find a Bigfoot.
Cool. That's going to be
it's going to be a barn burner.
That's going to be a hot
I'm
button.
Just looking at it and I'm going, it's just, but it's, so in a way it's frustrating because
we might have to limit the knife checks that night.
Oh yeah. But it's because it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating. You start thinking these things through to their logical conclusion and realize there's not a lot of logic in it, but still Bigfoot stuff's fun. So we were able to kind of get out there and look through on that. We caught some cool vocalizations that we don't know what they were. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So not as dramatic as what we were catching in Laurel Creek, but they were also a further distance away at that point. So,
and it felt good to kind of not be out there in a state of terror for once,
Yeah,
it was,
so
it was good to kind of get back to our roots of kind of going out there and tracking during the day and really looking for this evidence and being like, all right, so we have a solid ID. We have a solid sighting here that happened recently. We know what we're looking for. Mm-hmm. It's not like we're going out here and we're like, oh God, what the hell's out here? We know we're looking for this. These people don't seem crazy. These people seem actually genuinely very cool. So that's good. That's all in the positive direction. I think that this investigation really reflected that. We were really, I was really jazzed to get out there and really just kind of hit the forest. And
just to kind of go out there and just do what we kind of got into this.
And what a beautiful place too. It's it was kind of a pine swamp, and with all of that deluge of water coming in, you could just see all of that it was just such a beautiful place, especially like right there at sunset. It was really nice to kind of share that kind of that experience with you guys too.
Of course, take two wheels while we're talking about, oh, it's just relaxing. I found 3 deer kills and back so far. Weird as crap today. I found a fresh kill. The lower jaws were placed end to end down at the base of a tree, and the kill was 10 yards away.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I think he said he was going to send me some
Yeah.
video. I haven't
Take Two
checked
Wheels
that yet.
has a history of it. I'm not going to share your location. You can share it in the chat if you want to, but so it's just, I mean, and here's the deal. I still find, of course he says that, and I'm just instantly like, God, we got to get there and look at that. I still find stuff like that interesting, but it's good to decompress with some non-grim stuff every once in a while.
Yeah.
Boy, Marcus, but you guys got juvenile tiny Bigfoot tracks at the LBL.
I think he's thinking about the Grove.
Yeah, I think you're thinking about the Grove. We got those tiny footprints on the shoreline. That was at the Grove. We've never found tiny footprints at the LBL. We found that clawed footprint that is near the supposed 1982 massacre site. If that, we actually found what looked like Bigfoot tracks in the cemetery above the 82 massacre spot, supposed 82 massacre
In the
spot.
snow, yeah.
Yeah, and that was weird. And at first I was thinking they were like boot prints but then we were seeing like toe impressions in them. So that kind of ruined that trope that there's dogmen in the north and Bigfoot in the south. But the Grove prints, man, we got to try to get back out to the Grove.
There's some interesting stuff coming up in the chat right now. Some interesting little brain ticklers to talk about.
Go ahead and knock them out.
Oh, I was marking and going through. If you want to start, or I can.
Oops, I'm hitting them too many times. Rare Robert, what do you think about the cults of the Bigfoot? Do they summon them? I am going to go out on a limb here, and I know a lot of people don't like to hear me say this, but they might have something to do with Bigfoot. I don't know.
We have no idea.
But I will tell you this, that we go into areas where people are telling us that they've had Bigfoot activity, and it's other stuff going on that they're just associating it with Bigfoot because it takes place in the woods. Weird screams, weird smells, rocks being tossed at them, blah, blah, blah. I just think that I know that there's other weird stuff out in the woods other than Sasquatch, but people are geared towards Sasquatch.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of Class B encounters, weird stuff that happens in the woods, but people don't visually, see Sasquatch, but they just think it's Sasquatch because what else could it be? I think that there's other stuff that could be. So I don't know though. I can tell you that in the area of North Georgia where that group is operating, that's involved in a cult. Yeah. And here's the deal. You may not think that what they do has any power. I don't necessarily think that what they do has any power. I don't know. It doesn't matter what we think. It's what they think. It's why they're doing it. And maybe it does. Maybe on a certain level, it's strengthening the activity that's out there, like the high strangeness activity. Maybe it's maybe some of the weird stuff they do, like rituals and stuff like that, don't work in other areas because there's no natural energy in those other areas, and they work up in these spots. I don't know, man.
It seems like these areas are just chock full of quartz that we go into too.
But
and that's
I don't think that a lot of the stuff in these darker areas is really Bigfoot. I think it's weird paranormal activity that people are experiencing, and then they go, it must have been Bigfoot because it took place in the woods.
Right.
Because
their brain doesn't make that connection with other things happening.
If you're in your house and you smell something bad and you hear a scream or a moan or and then something gets thrown at you, you're calling an exorcist. If you're in the woods and the same thing happens, you're assuming it's Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Just because the locale is changing so I don't think that Bigfoot, I don't think a lot of Class B sightings where there's no associated visual, visual like confirmation that there's a Bigfoot there. I just think a lot of Class B stuff is just paranormal stuff taking place in the woods.
One of those expeditions, not the last expedition we did in the LBL, but probably the one before when it was the dead of winter that we went up there. You and I were hiking in an area. I don't think I released this footage, but I theorized something that perhaps the phenomenon of the dog man is some sort of conjured spirit, some sort of revenge tulpa, some sort of revenge deity that was conjured up by someone for what occurred on that land and what happened to those people. You think about the connection between people say when they have a dog man experience that it's demonic. It's something that is evil, otherworldly, something else. They don't usually describe Bigfoot encounters like that. Even though there is a possibility they absolutely could be. But I don't know why. I just, my brain just loves the idea of a Bigfoot cult now, you know, like that there's a Bigfoot cult out there trying to conjure the Bigfoot. Do they have a YouTube channel?
Would they like to guest star on one here? Wildcat tattoo, had stuff thrown at me, screams in my house. Turned out to be the ex-wife. Is what the flock in the chat tonight? Because you guys are brothers from another mother there.
I remember I made a like a little icon for the Hellbenders. One of the first one was a gummy bear with a knife in one hand and a set of divorce papers in the other hand.
Oh Lord. On more, have you guys found a pentagram outside a cave entrance before? Heard not to enter werewolf habitat, summoned or conjured. We have not, and I agree with you. If I ever find a pentagram outside of a cave entrance, I'm not going to enter either. I'm going to call somebody. We'll call Death Wish and go, got a cave for you, and he'll jump in there. But no, I've never
got a cave for you, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, it's weird because Jesse has that outlook on Dogman, and our opinions on a lot of this stuff change from they evolve over time. And
it has to.
And sometimes I'll go, that's silly. I don't think that's a possibility. And then later on I revisit it and I go, maybe that's got some weight to it. And then my pet theory will be popular with me for a while. I mean, at just this point, I ain't boxing myself in on hardly anything because we don't really have a lot of answers. I do think that there's something to the Dogman phenomenon, and a lot of other people who previously laughed at it like we did have also looked into it and then come away going, I don't know what it is, but there's something there. I think that it has similarities with other folklore that people have encountered over the centuries. I think that it's not a modern phenomenon, and I'm not even talking about werewolves and cynocephali or anything like that. I think that there's other variations. I think it's whatever the phenomenon is, it's updated itself, and it's kind of evolved alongside of us, kind of like the UAP phenomenon has. It went from being like literal wooden ocean-going ships in the clouds to weird-looking hot air balloons.
Dirigibles.
Yeah, dirigibles to flying saucers to Tic Tacs to orbs. And it seems like it mirrors our culture. I think the Dogman phenomenon is like that a lot as well. I think it used to represent and used to display itself as something slightly different. And then now it displays itself like the way it is right now.
Yeah.
Upright, aggressive canine creature. So
I got some William Kennedy hits I got to get through right now. The Eyes of Satan. And then the Bigfoot cult will be called.
I'm starting to think that William Kennedy has been replaced by some sort of AI program that just takes concepts and then just blaps them out. You know what I'm saying? William Kennedy is probably like some weird AI scientist, and it's become self-aware and just taken over his computer at this point. So
the Sacred Brotherhood of the Cannibal Bigfoot, Divine Rituals.
Jesus,
there's that one. Take Two Wills was asking me, Jesse, where can I send that video? You can send it to hellbentholler@gmail.com.
We're insanely behind on emails. I don't even know how to catch up at this point, but send it. We promised in the past we're going to get caught up. It ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? So
empty promises.
Just put Take Two Wheels in the subject line though, and we'll look for it.
Blueberry Sasquatch. It's pretty good. Gotta say.
Boy, Marcus. Love the comments and conjectures by everyone. Curiosity is the basis for eventually finding truths that the majority don't even want to know exist. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Marcus. Hey, thank you. But we were talking about it today, and we were talking about it's just so weird how aggressive and upset people get in like the greater Bigfoot or even paranormal community when somebody has like a differing opinion on something.
Yeah.
None of us can really prove anything. And it's
like it's a personal affront.
It's like, yeah. And it's like, it's weird because at the end of the day, it's strange enough to find somebody else who's into this weird topic. And then you're just going to go like crazy on them because they don't agree with you 100% and you're not in lockstep. But I think
That's
it's that
like, you know,
you lose that curiosity. It's no longer being curious about the subject. It's now you're in expert mode and you've got to tell everybody what an expert you are. And I've got this figured out and da da da. It's self-aggrandizing as opposed to just going, I don't know what the hell's out there, but damn it, I want to know.
it's like Bigfoot people go into Highlander mode, you know?
There can be only one.
There can be only one, and they gotta. But I was gonna relate this to if you were ever. I know a lot of you can't relate to this, but someone out there may. If you were the only like goth punk girl in a small town, and you go to the thrift store, and then you run into another one, and then it's
you guys have to fight with that.
Oh, person? It's like it's no holds barred. It's a personal affront.
Personal affront.
But yeah, they're like Highlanders, you know. I can't.
They're not Highlanders. They're immortals. The one dude was from the Highlands.
Oh, I've ruined this. Well, I'll be seeing y'all.
Rethinking everything at this point. Rethinking everything. Yeah, not today's like that's how I feel about the rapid dismissal of interest in AI and UAP since the advent of whistleblowers. Disheartening. I went on a big rant a couple of weeks ago.
No.
Yeah, believe it or not, about how at this point we can't trust any whistleblowers. We can't trust anything. Is Kim Drescher in the chat tonight?
I have not seen
because I actually got a message Kim because this was right up her alley. I listened to a Stephen Greer interview on the Danny Jones podcast.
Danny Jones is awesome.
It's the best damn podcast on UAPs that I've heard in I don't know how long. And you're getting some insight into, because on face value, if you looked at most people and went, who do you trust? Stephen Greer or Lou Elizondo? The majority of people in the UAP subject are going to, if they trust anybody, are going to say Lou Elizondo. And I'm listening to this, and now I'm going, I don't know who to believe. Stephen Greer.
Has Stephen Greer ever said that he's astral project to torture a terrorist in
No,
Guantanamo Bay?
I guess Lou Elizondo did call Stephen Greer a terrorist, though. And Stephen Greer goes, well, he would, because he's trying to take, what does he call it? He calls it commercial ufology or something like that.
Ooh.
And it is, but I guess what my point is with this is that at this point, I have no clue out of any of these whistleblowers who you can trust and who you can't trust. Because I was dismissing Stephen Greer completely outright. And then I'm listening to this interview today and I'm going, this is one of the best interviews I've ever heard. This guy, I hate to say it, comes across more believable than a lot of other people out there do.
And you never thought you would shift that. It was always like Stephen Greer is a grifter. And that's kind of been like the prevailing.
My thing is this, is that at this point, I don't really care who comes out and says what now. I might take it as a possible data point. I might find it interesting because I like the topic. But I think I'm past letting whistleblowers kind of like color my perception. And instead, I'm just going to seek experiences myself and let those experiences color my perception. And I think that's what we all need to do, is to either find small independent people that are doing this, like Joe and Ron from Wild and Weird, West Virginia, us in our own small way, or go out spend a bunch of BS. I don't know what's real and I don't know what's real. Wrapped up in a bow and given to us on a silver platter. I think everybody's got to find their own disclosure. I don't think there's ever going to be worldwide disclosure. And if it happens, I don't know if we can trust it. Everybody out there should be looking for their own personal little like revelation that this stuff is real. And I think that it's real in different ways for different people.
Yeah.
You talk to some people and it's uniformly negative. And it's not the energy just that they're putting out. You see people that approach this stuff with a lot of enthusiasm and joy and light, and then it takes a dark turn for something that happens. And then you have other people that are very fearful of it and have something that's like life-changing and is for the better for them. So I don't know, but I don't care what. It's gotten to the point now where as soon as somebody tries to give me like unsolicited advice on field investigations, I just shut down. I'm just like, sorry, man, I got my own way of doing stuff. You got your own way of doing stuff. If you think that's a winning combination, go out there and do it. I highly recommend you do it. And by God, I hope you find something good and you're able to share it with everybody. So,
Cowboy 4572 says, if Joe buys into Greer, does that mean Jesse believes in Nessie? Asking for a
some
friend.
lines are too, you cannot cross. Some lines are too far to cross.
There are blood feuds that will continue. I actually got my copy of Dewey's book today. I wanted to. Could you go get it, or do you want me to go grab it? So it's in the living room on the like little table to the right at the corner in front of the little lamp. Got some instructions there. Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys. I actually got my copy. I ordered a hardcover copy of Dewey Edwards' latest book. I know this is a gear shifter. I just want to make sure that I put this out there. I got a copy. Let's see here. I'm gonna actually give you guys the link here in the chat. If you guys want to get your own copy, good God, that's a link. Let's see if that works. It's a super long link. That's gonna take the entire chat thing. Joe's grabbing that for me right now. But if you want to get your, and I'll put a link to the book in
This is a hardcover.
I ordered the hardcover. Yeah, you have an option to get a hardcover for $5 more. Get the hardcover. All right. So Dewey Edwards' latest book is 10 Hours of Hell. It is the Kelly, Kentucky Little Green Men Encounter.
Did I make it before the ex-wife joke with 10 hours of
I
hell?
haven't made it down here yet.
Okay.
I put the link, so I copied the link, and it's like going to take up half the chat, but I put it in there anyway. And I'll put that in the description of the show. But look at the cover art, and the title is so cool. But that is Dewey Edwards' latest book. Make sure you guys get a copy. I know a few of you have gotten your copies over the past couple of days. So let us know how it is. I'm going to dive into this, but I just want to make sure that we throw Mr. Dew a shout out. And I believe he is speaking at Goblin Con as well this year, which this is the right book to be releasing right before Goblin Con.
Let's see if I can share this. You keep going. I'm going to see.
Can you get a shorter link?
So I'm going to try to see if I can do. So.
All right. I'm going to go down through here. Did you get Marcus Aurelius's here?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Marcus Aurelius says to bypass AI, simply go to the past evidence and ufology encrypted. It's already there and stands on its own.
Yeah. And, I'll have people, good God, I don't think that'll work.
Mine was, yours is just as long as mine.
Yeah, what the hell is up with that? Will it let me even post that?
This is amateurish at best.
It's not my problem. Amazon's got these 30 million long.
I feel like a
there we go. It came through.
I feel like a peepaw right now.
So I agree with you. And people will even, I know like Richard Dolan, who I actually have a great deal of respect for. He's one of those few people that I universally find like a great deal of insight and learn something every time he speaks. But he doesn't think that any of that this is a completely modern phenomenon, and that none of the let's say 18th century UFO type thing, or even probably that pre 19th century UFO cases, that none of that was. Now we're just misinterpreting things, and I just don't see that as possible. If you match up some of this stuff, if you match up like a European folktale of somebody encountering the Fae in the woods, and then you just start going bullet point to bullet point to bullet point, it matches up damn near perfectly with like modern day UFO abduction phenomenon. So I agree with Marcus that it's to this point too with AI.
I found a way to make a short link.
All right, knock it out.
Gosh.
Finally.
My God.
All right, there's the link to Dewey's.
That's an actual link to, there you go. Lord B, you think that this is our first day on the internet?
We need AI to freaking paste these links, for God's sakes. But especially with the way that AI can do video clips now. Like, I don't trust anything I see on TikTok. I just don't. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. Because
there's no context.
I don't mean any disrespect to anybody in the chat that has a TikTok account. I'm sure you guys enjoy the hell out of it. It's probably got some cool cat videos. Do you know what I'm saying? But
there's also interesting ways to cook imitation crab legs.
But all I think of it is like a very poorly done, like cryptid or UFO CGI type thing, like AI type thing.
Yeah.
And then some dude doing this superimposed with his finger pointing generally in that direction. But that's why we've gotten so big on trying to run cameras constantly. Because if I see like a 7-second clip, and I don't care what that 7-second clip is of or how good it looks, if I don't have context before and after, I don't pay any attention to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So because AI is getting that good.
I think one thing that really flipped people out with the whole TikTok thing was, do you remember that video that was making the rounds where it was all it starts out is a field at sunset, and you just hear a screaming, and then it just says, you know, it was just, you see the outline of a guy just standing there and just screaming. And it's like, there's a skinwalker out here.
The skinwalker.
The skinwalker stuff on TikTok is insane.
Everything's a skinwalker. Well, it's like that with feral people, because feral people got the big thing. Listen, there are people that I would consider feral in
my neighborhood,
in my house. And all right, so, but they were leading you to believe that like every vacant lot had like a tribe of feral people living in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, it's not about TikTok. Jeff wanted a knife.
We are showing that we're old people. We can't post links. We're complaining.
Can't post links. We hate the TikTok.
We're complaining about TikTok.
Oh, let me get my glasses on here. So I have got a Cold Steel. I've got a Cold Steel Voyager. It's a crisp bladed Voyager. Look at that. Isn't that crazy looking?
You're carrying some medieval knife?
That's bananas. That's what I carried today. Yeah. You just can't open anything with it in front of people. If you need to open anything, like in public, you can't just go, all right, hold on, let me pull out my 5.5-inch bladed, wavy bladed Cold Steel Voyager. But I don't know. It's pretty cool. You know, like hunt vampires or something like that with it.
Jesus, you live with one. I have this sweet little Spyderco there. Look at that bad boy. It's almost like, that's the shape of the street scalpel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which one is this one?
That's the Yojimbo.
The Yojimbo.
Remember, I used to carry that in my boot.
You used to have a street scalpel that was kind of like this too. Yojimbo, yeah. But that edge is so thin, boy, you couldn't do anything but stab somebody with it. Love it.
That was
one of the first knives that you like gave me to carry, that you used to carry in your boot, because it was small enough.
This thing is like a razor though, because if you remember, I shaved that dude's neck in the bar that time. I put a temporary tattoo in his neck. You don't remember that, do you? So back in the Crazy Joe days. Anyway,
so we're gonna end the show early.
So let's see what else we got here.
Moondog says, I seem feral at times. Yeah. Especially when I saw that dark figure and everybody was like so weirded out about how I was acting. I guess I seemed a bit feral for that.
Spooktator Bob got swept up by the crew. He was supposed to be here a while ago and he got caught up by Motley Crue. It's happened to us all, man.
Oh.
Happened to us
all. All right.
Let's see what else we got here. We're going past these giant links that we tried to do I'm surprised they didn't crash all of YouTube.
That we really had some old people moments now. We might have to take this episode down just because of the shame.
The shame
that we've brought upon ourselves and our families. Oh my goodness.
Now this is a good one, Roger Claiborne. Are some of us co-creators perhaps of leftover creation potential? Like little bits of energy just floating around out there,
wow.
I guess, looking for a home. And all of a sudden someone, they latch onto someone and they use that person's perception of reality as a way to like kind of manifest in what they're going to present to the world. That's interesting. God, we've got the best chat, man. We've got the best chat.
If you're enjoying this content, please hit the like button.
If you don't like the content,
still hit the like button though.
I remember my first internet.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, and people are talking about, I'm behind in the chat, the 15th century woodcuts of sky battles. I mean, if you just look at stuff, Alexander the Great's army, they saw shields, bronze shields flying in the sky above them, and they thought that whatever army they were getting ready to decimate that day had something to do with them, and it looked like it was just observing the battle that was on the ground. So, all right.
Not today. Sabin says, yikes, that sounds like Scientology. Check your thetans, bro.
This is a good one.
You think I can get one of those
AI
machines?
photos, just imagine what a cameraman had to be to take it. As a cameraman myself, trust me, I understand that. Mine is always just like, when we capture something crazy on video, we might put like a YouTube short up of just what we captured on video. Right. But there's context before that happened and after that happened. Mm-hmm. and you get a picture of what's going on. And like you said, that's a great idea. Like where I am filming it at that point, you know. And like I said, it's human nature. There's nothing that can be done about it. I mean, I guess we can all get upset about it, but it's here to stay. That genie ain't going back in the bottle. All right, let's see here. Bonita Wilcox, how are you? See you in the chat here.
Richard Shop. Well, I was possessed by the ghost of John F. Kennedy for a moment. Sorry. Richard Shop says, what do you all think about the ETs on Facebook prepping us all for full disclosure?
If they're doing that, they are going about it the absolute worst way possible, I think.
Yeah.
I think
they're inciting an anger towards anything that has to do with the subject. At this point,
I think that there's not even two factions. There's not even like a pro-disclosure and an anti-disclosure faction. And I'm talking about like in the government. I think there's so many factions out there. And the best way to to get a poison in you is to put like a sugar coating on it. You know what I'm saying? Best way to get you to swallow a lie is to put a little bit of truth around it. And I think that's what's going on. So there's so many half truths and just it's just at this point. And that's why I just said, I'm going to absorb all of this like whistleblower stuff that comes out. I'm going to absorb all of the online disclosure stuff that comes out. I'm just not taking it seriously anymore. I'm just not. And this dude can say this and that dude can say this and I'll listen to it. Some of it I'll find entertaining. Some of it I won't. Some of it I'll find plausible. Some of it I won't. I'll listen to it, but I just don't care anymore about whistleblower. There's too much like trust me bro stuff going on. You know what I'm saying?
And them's the facts from Joe Doyle.
We're a couple of weirdos with the support of a small group of weirdos, i.e. the people watching this. And we have been able to capture some pretty crazy stuff on camera and audio. Just with two private citizens with a little bit of support. And I think we're pretty imaginative. And I think that we're pretty creative in a way to use these equipment. And I think we work hard. But we're not making grandiose claims that we can call UFOs down whenever we want to. Because if we could, you'd see the video of it.
Although, as the contact experiment goes forward, we might eventually be able to do that. But here's the deal.
If we can,
if we do that, if I get to that point, I'm filming it. You better believe I'm filming it. I'm not going to talk about it till I can do it and I can film it. We'll be live on there. I'll be like, watch this, y'all. Just bring them down. I've got some stuff.
But I mean, again, yeah, that's my thing.
So we got some wild ones here for the last little.
We're going out strong.
Going out strong with these crazy.
The Deucer was here. Thank you for promoting the book. I'm going to say this right now. I thought it was a.
Oh, hello.
I didn't see you there.
My copy, my hardcover copy of 10 Hours of Hell by the prolific writer Dewey Edwards. We know how to share links to the books now. We certainly learned long ago how to do that. We never had any trouble doing it at all. There's another link to 10 Hours of Hell by Dewey Edwards.
Marcus Aurelius. Only way I can get highlighted in the show without paying for it. Bonita Wilcox, loving the Predator shoulder plasma cannon.
I had to put that on there because we're going to talk about the plasma cannon because people were speculating about the plasma.
I mean, they're going to see it. You want me to grab it? Or no? You want to not?
No.
No. All right.
No, we'll talk about it. I'll talk about it. That's my new camera, kids.
Jesse's new camera with some modifications.
There's some modifications on there, but so I did put some in this video that we just released using that. That's my camera. That's going to be my point of view camera. I'm going to be doing some kind of just one-on-one stuff with it and putting that in the videos. But there's also going to be some stuff from my perspective. I've been using that camera in Blackthorn Lake for a little bit now, and there's some really cool footage. So you get to see a lot of stuff. You're going to get to see some stuff from my perspective, because I know a lot of times you guys watch the videos, you just see like the backside of me. And it's a good backside. I'm not saying it's not a great backside, phenomenal backside, but you're going to actually get footage from my point of view. And Joe was watching some of the footage a couple of weeks ago, and he goes, "Oh my God, is this what it's like to be a goblin running through the woods?" So that's what you're going to get with that. So that's why I have that. We got that camera, and that's going to be Jesse Cam.
The Jesse Cam.
Jesse Cam.
Jesse Cam 3000.
Everything's 3000.
hold on, what else we got here? And we'll wrap it up here in a few minutes.
Everybody thinks it's a small shoulder gun. It's my
Everybody, well, they think it's the Predator plasma cannon because it's
Yeah.
on your shoulder, folded down. Cynthia, all your prayers last week, holding position with the flu, meet with the surgeon tomorrow. I hope you're feeling better. Man, everybody's having like a wave of like ill
I
health.
know.
Cynthia, you got this. You know what I'm saying? You got this. And Marcus, hey, he says he posts that so he doesn't have to donate money, and then he donates money. I was under the impression that Zuckerberg was already an alien construct for disinformation control. Just saying. And again, it's I don't know, man. I think that I'm at the point now where I am willing to listen to anything, but I don't believe anything. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't, unless somebody is able to. Now, if these people that are claiming, the Skywatch folks, excuse me, claiming that they can bring a UFO. Now, it seems like you'd lead with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you could do that at will.
Maybe they
Like
think they
when we release an investigation video, if like something cool happens,
I'm leading with it.
we allude that in the beginning and show a little clip of it.
Yeah.
So that way you know what's coming. We don't like talk about it for 2 hours and then just not show it, you know? So anyway, what else we got here? We're wrapping up in a minute.
Yeah.
Wheelman Stan, what are your thoughts on that Mississippi Bigfoot from about 8 years ago?
I marked that because I'm like, what?
I don't know which one you're talking about.
I don't remember anything from 8 years ago.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If you could make a reference to it, perhaps was he in a tutu or I don't know.
Anyway,
the Rolodex of Bigfoot videos.
We're going to be wrapping up here. I'm
Yeah.
almost at the bottom of the chat. If you got anything that you want to throw in.
Yep. And I'm going to put a link to the actual good link in the description of the video. So you guys can go and purchase Dewey's latest book. And I think he's going to have copies that you can order from him that he will autograph. I'm just going to get him to autograph it when I see him.
Filthy Casual, always take the phenomenon seriously. Agreed. But when it comes to social media, I'll take whatever is released with a massive grain of salt, unless it's you guys and small town monsters covering it. Thank you. I trust me, I understand how hard it is for people to believe stuff. We didn't believe anything about the Dogman phenomenon. We thought it was ridiculous. We made fun of it all the way to like the first weird encounter with that phenomenon that we had. We were making fun of it up until that day. We didn't believe it. And we just didn't believe it. So but we weren't like a-holes about it. We just didn't believe it. And then it takes having that personal experience or sharing stuff and kind of showing, that's why we are so big on trying to gather video and audio evidence to share with people. And yeah, it's fleeting sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It's footprints, it's lights, it's weird. The audio evidence we've been getting lately has been pretty crazy. Strange lights and everything like that. And hopefully, just hopefully, that day we have that close-up Class A sighting of a Bigfoot, of anything like that, we'll be able to get it on camera. And then we'll put it out there. You know what I'm saying? We won't talk about it for 5 years and then just,
oh yeah,
show it to 10 people. But
we're gonna be like, this is it, boys. I've got one here. Where the heck are you? I've lost it. Spooktator Bob said the Kentucky Goblins in Hopkinsville, the Bell Witch, and the LBL are very close to each other. We actually went to all three of those locations on one trip.
Yep.
And we also visited Edgar Casey's grave, all on one trip when we were up there.
Scariest place out of all that, Hopkinsville Goblins. The neighborhood around that is like,
the neighborhood around.
sketch is like all get out. It's crazy as all.
If we and we will be making another LBL trip eventually. It's gonna have a different it's going to be geared in a different direction, and we're not telling anybody when we're going, but when we go, I think we're going to hit all those spots again. We had what a fantastic time at the Bell Witch Cave. But yeah, we're going to hit all those spots again when we go back up to the LBL, because I don't think we're totally done with the LBL. We're just going to let it lie for a little while. And then we're going to have a different kind of trip next time that will involve Mr. Dooster and his expertise.
All right, folks, we're wrapping it up here in a second.
I think
so. So what's coming up for us is, I don't know with this latest investigation video when we will be back out in that particular area. It'll happen. That's just not somewhere that I mean, maybe we could be out there every weekend. I don't know. But anyway.
Oh, the video from 8 years ago was, sorry, if we have an update. The creature was squatted in a swamp, digging into a cypress tree, ripping it up.
Real as all get out. One of the most real
He does
videos
remember
ever
it.
out there. Yes. One of the most real videos as far as Bigfoot goes out there. Yes. That is one of the ones that I honestly think is legit or has the possibility of being legit footage.
And if it's from 8
I'm
years
sure
ago.
somebody out there has debunked it, but to me, a debunking is when somebody can like recreate it perfectly, show you how they recreated it, take me step by step how it's fake, not just telling me that it's fake. That one, I think, is one of the ones out there that I look at.
And 8 years ago, we know it's not AI. We know for sure.
No.
You know, Trey from Squatch Me Now has gone to great time and expense to get a custom Bigfoot suit made. And this is like all part of a project he's working on. I think he was on a show talking about it.
Yeah.
But he has a friend who is, how tall is his friend? 6'9"?
Yeah, our friend Trey that does Squatch Me Now has got a great thing, and it's cool for a couple of different reasons.
It's ethical. It's ethical hoaxing.
Ethical hoaxing, and hear me out before you start going hoaxers. He's got a friend who's an ex-professional wrestler.
Who's huge.
Who's huge, like 6'9", close to 7 feet tall. They had a very expensive, I'm going to throw in $10,000. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? If that's low ball, high ball, whatever. Very expensive custom Bigfoot suit made for this guy. So he's very limber and agile for his size, being a, former ex-wrestler. And they dress him up in this costume, and then they take him out. And they put him in weird spots, and they maybe like in a patch of woods next to the interstate in the middle of the daytime, stuff like that. And they wait to see if anybody notices him. So part of it is to see maybe, to prove the point that people, modern 21st century Americans, are not that observant when they're out.
No,
they're not that observant at all. And it doesn't matter whether you're in the woods, on the highway, walking down the city streets, you're just not that observant. So there's a really good possibility that there's a lot of this stuff going on around us, and we just don't ever know it. And then they'll also do things to make sure that he is seen, and then see if the sighting ever bubbles up to the public, to also prove the point that people see these things all the time
and
they
don't really
don't report it. Yeah. So he calls it ethical hoaxing, and it's not to hoax anybody. It's to show you
that these things could be happening, and they're just flying under the radar because nobody's paying attention to it.
So it's fascinating. It's one of the more. It's
one of the more novel approaches to the subject, and kind of how we talk about people want us to cast footprints and stuff all the time. We're like, we don't cast footprints. We do things our own way. We have all of these cameras. We have all this stuff. We have novel approaches to how we do it. This is how we're doing it. This is what we're doing. We're doing our thing. You do your thing. You cast all them prints you want. He's doing this. I love that there's all these different approaches to stuff. There is no guidebook for Sasquatch research, because the guidebook and the same way of doing stuff, knocking on trees, casting footprints, doing the same thing. You got nothing. You got nothing. You got diddly.
You've got Matt Larson with Central. Well, he was Central Florida Bigfoot. Now he's Central Kentucky Sasquatch. Getting the same camera that was used to film the Patterson-Gimlin film, and learning how to use it to see if it's possible. To see, could you really film what you saw that day with this camera, and does it all look? Because he had some questions about it. He's a professional photographer. He's a photojournalist.
Yeah, somebody
who's a professional in his field. He did that. Trey doing this thing with the Bigfoot suit to prove and to show you that people don't notice a 7 foot tall hairy hominid sometimes when it's 50 feet away from them. They just don't pay any attention. And when they do, when it's forced upon them to look at it, when something happens that's so egregious that they have to look at it, they don't report it. They don't tell anybody. So you start to look at that, and it starts to open up the possibilities of how much activity is out there, and how many of these things might get seen and you never hear about it.
Yeah.
So fascinating stuff. Final thing.
Pork Chop Express goes, collecting random poop is more productive. You might want to ask my boots about that.
Yes, trust me. We're going to send Jesse's boots off for DNA testing.
What if my boots are like the greatest Sasquatch researcher of all time?
Exactly right.
All right, go with
We're gonna send her boots off for like DNA sampling, and we're gonna go, did you find a Bigfoot? And they're gonna go, like 30 of them. All right. What the hell?
They're gonna put a portrait of my boot in the Bigfoot Museum, and you and I are like, wait, no.
Researcher of the year. So anyway, Marcus Arias is leading us out. I'm here tonight only because I came down with highly volatile flu symptoms. The only plus, but so happy to be here on a Monday night, everyone. Again, missed you all. What's for dinner? We're actually getting ready to head off. We're eating gourmet. We're not even eating gourmet. I can't even dress it up. We're eating frozen pizza for dinner because we have got a bunch of work to do.
I have a lot of work to do. But you know what? I got frozen cheese sticks too. So
Living large, boys and girls. But
it's
yeah,
Italian night, baby.
We've got a bunch. If you see me looking down this way, because I'm not joking, I've got a bunch of stuff going on the floor here next to me with cables and wires and batteries and all sorts of stuff like that.
Oh my God, Willman Stan goes boots all ate up with Bigfoots.
Oh Lord. Now you need to do a t-shirt with like with a coyote brown boot on it that says Bigfoot Researcher of the Year.
And just covered in poop.
Yes. Anyway.
Oh my
I think we're done on that note, guys.
God, I thought I clicked off of it.
I do want to say, Benita, thanks for joining the chat tonight.
Thank
Benita
you,
comments all the time. She's rarely able to make into a chat. Good to have you. Marcus, good to have you back, my brother. I hope you recover, but I hope you're able to line it up so you can come back on the show all the time.
Yeah.
Bigfoot Society popped in right before the curtain falls. What's up, Jeremiah?
Oh goodness.
I think we're done on that now.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome.
Oh, so anyway, I freaking forgot.
He's not done. He's got more.
No. What do we got coming up? So we don't know when we're getting back to the area of the video we just released. I will tell you this though. How I'd say, the two guys who originally reported it to us are in that area quite a bit, and they have their eyes open right now. If they see something else in that area, we'll probably be there within a few hours.
Yeah.
Even if we have to So, but we've got a lot of stuff with Blackthorn Lake coming out. Blackthorn Lake is an area that probably has us more excited than any other area we've ever investigated for multiple reasons. We have days of footage at this point that Jesse is going through to start releasing videos on there. So you're going to probably be tired of Blackthorn before we decide to break away to somewhere else. But
I'm so excited too, because there's a new element to this as well. We've got paranormal stuff going on. We've got Sasquatch activity. We've got some weird stuff happening there. We've got crazy cemeteries, mass graves. It's all kinds of stuff. But there's also this element of lost Appalachian archaeology involved in it. It's just a lot of interesting stuff. And there's so many factors in it. I'm super stoked about it. And it's so beautiful. It's an exciting area. So
Rick Skinner, fish sticks. No, I want fish sticks.
I don't turn down a fish stick.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining us. Sorry we're all over the board tonight, but hey, that's what you get.
I won't apologize for being all over the board. That's who I am. I'm a chaos element.
But anyway, you may see a live stream from us this weekend from the field, depending on what's going on. If we get a little lull, we might throw up the satellite uplink and go live for a little while from the field. Everybody always enjoys that.
Yep.
We might do that. And Jesse will be working on the next field investigation video. Oh, and Jesse is also releasing.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow. Why not? So she's going to be releasing her presentation that she did for Phenomicon this past year, which is basically just a cliff notes of Hellbent Holler up until this point. Some of the cases we've looked in, some of the activity that we've managed to experience and document. So she did that. A few people saw it, and we are going to release it to all of you. So in case you did not see it in the past.
Yeah, because I think it's a good overview, especially if you're new to the channel. It's a good overview of where we are so far. Up until that point of Phenomicon, but we've had some crazy stuff since then. But it's something that I wanted to release to you guys.
So that'll come out Tuesday or Wednesday, probably.
Yeah. So it'll be.
Some of you may have already seen it. Watch it again. Have your friends and family watch it.
Just have it on a constant loop for 4 or 5 days. All right, we're gonna go now. Thank you guys. Have a great night. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out. Share the show with your friends. become a member if you'd like to support this project. There's a lot of really cool members content that is coming out with the Blackthorn Lake series. There's going to be parallel members content to each video. So we are looking forward to that. We're going to have public videos and then we're going to have parallel content for members. We're really excited about that new little initiative we've got going on there. And we're just excited for the future, excited to step in some more poop and read Dewey Edwards' latest book, 10 Hours of Hell. So I'm going to put that link in the show notes below. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. God bless. Goodbye. Godspeed.
Godspeed.